Hey guys, this Later Magic here, and it's time for another completely crazy card from the overlooked but awesome series. Now this card is really similar to another card that I've seen, but weaker, and unfortunately I couldn't find that other card. I had seen it a long time ago when I first started playing Magic, somebody was playing it against me, but this card is almost equally as crazy. So, it's been decades and you're sitting around trying to design cards for the next set and you're thinking, what have I not done yet? What kind of crazy crap can we put on a card that has never been done in the game? But wait, we've done everything. I know. And out of that came World at War. I have absolutely no idea if that's how it was designed, by the way. This card was printed in Rise of the Eldrazi, and that is it, because after that they were so done with this. What does it do? Well, for an outrageous 5 mana as a sorcery in red, so it's already a completely unplayable pile of crap. For no logical reason that I could see, after your first post-combat main phase this turn, there's an additional combat phase, followed by an additional main phase. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures that attack this turn, and then of course it has rebound, which means that it goes to exile, and at the beginning of your next turn, you cast it again for free. I mean, if you're gonna give somebody an extra turn, just give them a whole turn. I mean, this is like the Chinese knockoff of getting like a free turn. So when you cast this, it basically goes main phase, combat, sort of untap phase, but not your lands, combat again, and then your second main phase. Now, obviously, the main advantage is that your opponent's creatures, if they had to chump block, would then be gone, and if they were really big, then they would take damage to their toughness twice, somehow not kill your units in the process, and then they would die. Now, you could also just outright win the game. Let's say you got rid of way too many blockers, you just need to do a little bit more damage. There are probably better ways for 5 mana as a sorcery in red to deal more damage, like maybe a boost spell that costs 2. But if you really want, take 2 combat phases, and then you got the whole next turn too. I mean, this is like so shaky and unpredictable for 5. It just seems so stupid, but I totally want to do it. I want to play this card just to have 2 combats, just to say I've done it. Now, like I said at the beginning, I'm very certain that there is a card that does this permanently. It always allows there to be 2 combats. I think it's like a White Angel or something like that. Now, there are some really tricky things you can do with this card, like basically any card that natively has an untap effect, you could maybe make something weird happen there in between combat. Maybe it's like untap, put a counter on a creature, or something like that. If you had a creature that said anytime you deal combat damage to an opponent, do this, or like, transform it, or, gain life, obviously that would just be lifelink. Heck, you could use this card just to take out a planeswalker. I mean, swing at it twice. If you know one creature is like unblockable or first strike or something, so they're getting through, boom, take out the planeswalker. Once again, I'm pretty sure for 5 mana you can find a better way to take out a planeswalker. So this card is interesting, but it's just not good. Like anything that you would want to accomplish, like dealing more damage, removing more creatures, killing a planeswalker, dealing more damage to the player, you can do any of those things without even leaving the red color. 5 mana is a lot, so you would have to have something really specific in mind for this card. Considering it was from Rise of the Eldrazi, maybe they were just going for Annihilator, but from what I heard, in the standard meta at the time, if you got one Annihilator trigger to go off, you basically won the game, because they just couldn't respond. They had to start losing stuff that they really need, like land in order to respond, cast a spell, creatures in order to block. So if you got it to go off twice, great, but you probably would have won with just the trigger going off once. So it's kind of dumb, it's kind of a gimmicky card, but it is awesome because it starts screwing with the phases. I mean, that is like so weird. That's like right up there with cards that just say, end the turn. There's actually, I think, like an M14 card that does it. You just tap it and end the current turn. I think there's quite a few that say that your opponent or you or everybody or whatever just outright skips their draw phase. Like the phase does not happen. You know what I'm thinking in the future? They need to let there be a card where you can just rearrange the phases, clone a whole bunch, whatever you want. If you want like 3 untap steps in a row, like 6 draw steps, 3 combats, and then no second main phase, like go for it. You just design your own turn. You know, maybe they could name the card Ba-Roken because that's what it would be. I'd still play with it though. It sounds like fun. Or if you think they'd never do something like that, Charizard or Chariz. I just call it Charizard. Most people just call it the table flippy card though. So hey, if you enjoy Combat Phase so much that you want to do it twice, put this card in your deck and have a blast with it. I'll see you guys next video.